In the next few minutes, I will tell you how to title your YouTube videos. Hey, welcome back to the channel. It is your boy SuperPotion SP. Today we're talking about YouTube titles and how to properly title your YouTube videos. So there's a lot of techniques out there in terms of how to title properly, but they all come down to two fundamental things. The first step is making sure that you have keyword phrases in your title via SEO. And you may be asking, hey, SP, how do I do that? I don't know anything about SEO. Well, don't worry. I will do an in-depth video about SEO eventually. But for right now, just watch this. So here we are on the YouTube homepage. This is how I find my video titles. What I actually do. It's very easy. Let's say, hey look, should we be streaming? I'm going to do a video about Crash Bandicoot 4, okay? So I am going to find out what words work for me the best as a small YouTuber. So I'm gonna start doing that by typing in Crash Bandicoot 4. As you notice, as I'm typing, the recommendations are, or what they say, report search predictions, are changing. What you essentially want is you want to find one of those, and that's going to be your key phrase. I'm going to do Crash Bandicoot 4 gameplay, and we'll do walkthrough. So for small YouTubers, it's important to make sure you add words. I mean, we don't always get like the huge jump that you could possibly get like from being a bigger channel. So you always want to make our keyword phrases a little bit longer so they're more specific. Essentially, the more specific you get, the less amount of videos that you have to compete with. So as a small YouTuber, being specific and honing down in, I don't know why I'm making this motion, honing down on your video title will get you better results in the long run. So I'm not going to go over all the TubeBuddy stuff that you see on the side right there. I'll probably do that in another video if you guys are interested, if you don't know anything about TubeBuddy. But essentially, what that lets me do is I can check if this is a good keyword phrase for my channel specifically, and that's what TubeBuddy does for me automatically. If you don't have TubeBuddy or you don't have vidIQ or anything else, I mean, you can easily just check it out from like scrolling down. Okay, that one has 1.2 million views. Like, are these views way too high? I mean, that one has about 25k. Because if they're too high, then your keyword phrase might not be specific enough, and you might even want to narrow it down even further. So if I go up here and I press space, I can see my other options. As your title gets longer, obviously YouTube has less recommendations for report predictions, because it's getting too complicated for YouTube to do search predictions. But it can still be helpful though. So like right here, we can change Crash Bandicoot 4 to Crash Bandicoot 4 It's About Time gameplay walkthrough. What I personally do is I would just go ahead and that would be part of my title, is Crash Bandicoot 4 It's About Time gameplay walkthrough. For this specific example, it's a video game, so I would probably just leave it as it is. But for other things, you can always rearrange it as long as those words are still in the title itself. When I was researching tips for this video itself, one of the examples that someone else had used for that video was their keyword phrase was Adobe Premiere Pro tutorial for beginners, right? And they rearranged it just so it would look a little bit better to Adobe Premiere Pro tutorial : how to start for beginners. That looks a little more professional, a little more like a title itself. Now, that was the first part of this. The second part of making a YouTube title is the hook. What's a hook? Well, basically, it's anything that draws your attention to the video. So we have the SEO, where it's working with the algorithm, all that good stuff, and then we have what actually draws you to that video for the hook. This is wildly different depending on the video topic. But I have a few different examples of what you can do for this. First example could be a verse title. What that means is you're comparing something to something else, you're versing it, and that brings intrigue, right? For an example, this is very useful for like tech channels and stuff like that. This guy right here is comparing the Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra versus an iPhone. So he's comparing two different phones. And that's good because comparisons bring people into it. Another thing you could do is title your video as a how-to video. I mean, you gotta remember the whole point of YouTube is to search for things. Like, people go on YouTube to search, the search program. You're providing a solution to a problem that someone has. It's a how-to. So for example, right here, like how to start a YouTube channel. That's one thing that you could do. How to start a YouTube gaming channel in 2021. Might watch that later. Makes sense, right? It's, yeah, not too much explanation needed for that one. The third technique that you could do is do something like these mistakes, or don't do this, stuff like that. So for example, like you can put down right here, Stardew Valley, 15 common mistakes new players make. 5 biggest movie mistakes you missed. Abs. 5 most expensive mistakes in all history. You know, stuff like that. So last technique that I have to cite would be like something like, before you watch this, before you buy this, before you get rid of this, or something like that. By saying the sequence of before you watch this, or before you do anything like this, it's essentially implying that you're going to make a mistake if you don't watch this video. And that's why it works most of the time. So for example, here we have like before you watch The Witcher on Netflix, Witcher recap, before you play Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. I just typed in before you and The Witcher came up, so that's what happened. But you get the point. Before you watch stuff, before you buy, before blah blah blah. Now you may be saying, SP, those sound like great techniques, but what if I have a gaming channel? Like I do. Well, let's go back to our Crash Bandicoot search that we had up a little bit ago here. What you want to do for stuff like that, for like video games, is you just want to create words that pop. So take the second video here for example. Crash Bandicoot 4 Part 1, Let the Rage Begin. What's popping? Let the rage begin. All caps. Draws your attention to it right away. Another example, third video here. It says, it's time, Crash Bandicoot 4. It's about time, gameplay walkthrough Part 1. See, long title, but it works. What's the hook? It's time. It's time. So we're just on my YouTube homepage, looking for more examples here. So let's see. I wish I knew this when I started my YouTube channel. Random capped words, but it draws your attention to it, right? Another example. So my friend Forever Nina, just all caps. Secret Lemon Boss Monsters, so creepy. It's very creepy, actually, very creepy. But yeah, that draws your attention to it. It's fun and it makes sense. Another thing that Nina actually did with this thumbnail is she emphasizes the title with the thumbnail itself. So she's saying like, oh, it's so creepy, and then in the thumbnail she puts, what the heck. That's another thing you can do, is make sure your thumbnail is in cohesion with your video title itself. And you can use little things like, you know, words like what the heck in order to emphasize the title. So yeah, that was my explanation of YouTube titles. Please let me know down in the comments how you title your videos, if you do something similar, if you do something different and it's been working out for you. Yeah, and this is the outro again. I hope you enjoyed the video. And 27 minutes of me rambling. That was, need to cut better. I hope my glasses are all weird again, huh? Cool.